Hey y'all, welcome to Unit 5, or I guess this is almost at the end of it, but in this video assignment, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about state and local governments um, and their relationship to the federal government, their reliance on each other, and how they connect with this concept of federalism, which we've touched on over the course of the class. So take a look at this presentation real quick. Understanding state and local governments, which is federalism at work. So you remember there's three branches of government, and this is at the national level. These branches are established by the Constitution. There's the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. If you look at this in the document, this is Article 1, Article 2, and Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Article 1 is the largest, and initially, or when the Constitution was written, the legislative branch, the lawmaking body, was considered the most important part of the U.S. government. It's divided into two parts. Can I move this? No. Okay, maybe you can see that. Oop. It's divided in the House of Representatives and the Senate. On my screen, sorry, there's a little video recorder thing, but I don't think you can see that. And then at the executive level, which is Article 2, you have the president and the vice president. Judicial branch, you have the Supreme Court. And of course, there's underneath these are many other things. Underneath the president and vice president is the cabinet, the 15 members of the cabinet, and all the different offices of executive branch, to what it takes to kind of run the government, makes laws, enacts those laws, and rules on the laws, right? So that's it. That's the basic. We've talked about it a little bit more in detail at different points in this class, but that's the basics. So that's at the national level. That's the federal level, sometimes that's called. At the next level is government. Under federalism, you have the national government, you have all these powers, you have the state, and then you have state governments, and then you have shared powers. Um, Things like taxes, borrowing money, running courts, making and enforcing laws, building roads, private land for public use, and making state banks. Um, those are shared powers or concurrent powers. So you can see where they start to cross over: national government powers and state government powers. I'm not going to read all these. This is an easy place to you can look up any Venn diagram of those, and it's not really relevant to the what we're talking about here, but I just want to use to see how powers are shared, because that's a concept that's sometimes hard to understand. But national government and the state government do share some powers, and then there's all these powers that the state government has just on their own. Things like interstate commerce, making schools, establishing local governments, that'd be like city governments, licenses, permits, certificates, includes things like marriage, stuff like that. So anyway, that's that part. So the concept that we talked about here, the three branches of government, this extends to state and local governments as well. And so the Idaho state government, and you could go to this website and can get all kinds of information about Idaho state government if you're interested. If you live in Boise or come to Boise, you can actually go to the state capitol and see the government at work. It's one of 11 state capitals in the United States that are actually working capitals, where they work on the site of the Capitol building. In other states, they're kind of spread out in different offices or different things like that, but are not. So we have the executive branch of the Idaho state government. That's our governor and our lieutenant governor. Our governor is Brad Little. We have the legislative branch, and it's divided into two parts: the state house and the state senate. And we have a judicial branch that's led by a state Supreme Court. Interestingly enough, if you do go to the state capitol, the original state Supreme Court building is in one of the wings. It's where I think the combined House and Senate Finance Committee meets, but it's this room. You can go inside there. It's kind of cool. And there's this really cool elevator off the side, and that's where the judges used to come up into the building from down below. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but it used to be on site. Now it's in a different location within near the Capitol. So that's kind of the organization. And again, those are the three separate branches. So what about local governments? Well, local governments serve at the existence, or I mean, they're created by state governments. So they get their power from state governments. And most local governments in this state are in a mayor council format. So I live in Boise. Some of you live in Boise, some of you live in Meridian, maybe some of you live in Nampa or Caldwell. All those places are mayor council formats. If you live on the eastern side, mayor council formats. Some smaller towns might have a slightly different organization, but I don't know exactly. But primarily, most of all of local government in Idaho is in this format. So you have the mayor, who is an elected mayor in Idaho or in Boise. It's Lauren McLean, and she is a member of the city council. She oversees the council, but she only votes in the case of ties. And the city council, who are also elected officials, they make all the laws that apply specifically to local ordinances, like curfew laws or some traffic related things that aren't state or county level stuff, different things like that. The mayor does have power, executive power, to make decisions unilaterally, particularly in the case of public health and safety. You'll know that if you live here, that McLean issued a mask mandate in the early stages of COVID last year, and that's one of her powers. She can also do other things. She can set curfews. She can do all kinds of things, particularly related to public health and safety. So so you have this kind of general understanding that you have federal, state, and local governments, and this is kind of the organizational pattern of those things. Federal Like I mentioned before, federal government and state governments share power in countless ways. A local government has to be granted power by the state. So, in general, mayors, city councils, and other governing bodies are directly elected by the people. Okay? And then those people this is just representative democracy, right? We're just electing people to make decisions for us. And if we don't like those decisions, then we elect new people. We have a big election coming up. It'll be circle around in 22, but the governor is up for election, so there'll be a primary pretty soon, and then they'll vote again. So it'll go through that whole process. But that's kind of it. I mean, that's a real general overview. I hope that's helpful. There'll be a couple of questions after you're done watching this video to answer, just so I know that you've watched the video, and you can get a few extra points too along with it. But as always, reach out if you have any questions. And I'm here. Good luck.